If you like to surf fish, then more than likely you use surf fishing weights, whether that's pyramid sinkers or claw or spider weights. So you've probably purchased them at a tackle store or Walmart or even ordered them online. So you probably realize that for just a hunk of lead, they're pretty expensive. As you can see here, you're going to pay about $8 for an 8-ounce spider weight. So if you purchase 12 weights, then you're already at about $100. And for right around $100, you can get everything you need to make your own weights. So I'm going to show you how to make your own surf fishing weights. You can actually save a lot of money by pouring your own weights. To pour your own weights, you got to have three things. You have to have lead, you have to have something to melt it with, and then you have to have molds to make the weights. Prices for lead melters range from $50 to $80 to $100. And most weight molds come in at just under $50 a piece. So for $100, you could have a lead melter and a weight mold, which is the same price you would pay if you purchased about 12 8-ounce claw sinkers. I purchased all of my lead equipment from Do It Mold's online store. They have just about any mold for any weight you could ever want online, but today we're going to be concentrating on spider or claw weights. So first I'm going to go over a few safety tips and then the equipment that you need to make these weights, and then you can actually watch me make a couple. So let's get started. There's basically 4 things you need to follow safety wise when you're pouring these lead weights or lures. You always want to have eyewear, eye protection. Obviously you want gloves. You also want to wear long sleeve and long pants while you're doing this, because it's happened to me a few times where you get a small splash and some shoots out and a little spot of lead that'll burn you good. So you want to make sure you got long pants, long shirt on. Also, you want to do it in a well ventilated area. Vapor that comes off of the lead is very toxic. You don't want to breathe it. You don't want anybody in your family breathing it. So make sure your best bet is just to do it outside or in a really well ventilated room, but I would suggest doing it outside only. Okay, tools you're gonna need. You're gonna have to have pliers. They don't have to be anything fancy. You just want at least 2 pairs. So if you need to manipulate 2 pieces at the same time, you can. Needle nose are really good for making your claws. You can get a very small, sharp bend in them with the needle nose pliers, coming a real handy. You're going to need a mold. I use the 8-ounce a lot for my surf fishing shark rigs. So I pour a lot of 8-ounce weights. You're also going to need stainless steel or galvanized wire for the claws. And you're going to need a smelter or lead melter. You can get those online. You can get them at Bass Pro. They range anywhere from $50 to $150, but from people I've talked to, they last forever. So it's a pretty good investment. And last, you're going to need lead. Let's talk about where you can find lead at. There's a lot of places you can get free lead. Dentist office, they use it in their the film that they use to take pictures of your teeth. Call them up and ask them if they have any, and they'll just give it to you. Wheel weights, although they're not as common as they used to be, lead wheel weights are still around. You can stop by auto shops, tire shops. A lot of times they'll have them. They'll just let you have it free. Pharmacies that deal with radioactive medicine, they have what's called isocores, where they take the radioactive medicine and they literally drop it in a bucket of solid lead. There's a hole cut out, they stick the medicine in it, and then they put a lead cap on it. Well, after they use those a couple times, they dispose of those, and they wait till all the radioactive material is depleted from it, and then they get rid of them. You can pick those up for free too a lot of times. Doctor's offices, anywhere that they do x-rays is always going to have lead. If you can find an old doctor's office that used to do x-rays, they'll have lead-lined walls. If they're tearing it down, you can ask them if you can have the lead. You can get enough lead for 5 lifetimes from a doctor's office like that. Car batteries are also a source of lead, but it's kind of a dangerous process to remove lead from car batteries, so I would research that pretty intensely before you take that on. Scrap yards, but usually scrap yard, they're gonna make you pay for it. You can buy lead online from lead dealers, Bass Pro Shop or Cabela's, places like that. They'll sell lead ingots online. You can buy those, or the bulk lead sellers, like I said, online are going to be cheaper than buying retail lead. Put your mind to it, you can find free lead. It's around, you just got to search a while and put in the effort to find it. Okay, first thing I like to do is preheat the mold. So you want this mold to be warm when you pour in your lead, because you'll get crinkles and wrinkles in the actual pour. So I like to heat it once and fill it up each time. There's one, and then there's two. Okay, just leave that in there a minute, let the heat sink into it. I've got all my wires. It's better to just have them all pre-cut and bent and ready to use before you start, because once you start pouring, you don't want to stop and have to take a break to cut more wire. After it's preheated, just pull them out and drop them back in. And then you want to close this back while you're getting stuff ready so it holds in more heat. All right, we got two links here. With all these wires coming out, it's a lot easier to just pour one size at a time. As you can see, there's a 5.5 and an 8, and I'm doing 8s today because that's mainly what I do when I use my cast out rigs for sharks. So what you do, you can see how I got that one fitted in there, and then you want to slip that one right on top there, just like that. Now that I've got them both held right there, got to shut this, and you'll see how they all fit. See how it's closed all the way? There's no gap. All the wires are sticking out. So I'm just going to take this, going to line it up under the spout. Let's get the glove back on. All lined up, ready. So up. All right, so we got it poured. Let it sit a second. Okay, I'll pull it out. There you go. Pretty simple. All you want to do on this, you don't want to cut. You don't want to cut these with cutters. It leaves a real sharp edge on there if you use cutters. So while it's still warm, just grab that with pliers, and then you wiggle it back and forth. Comes off and leaves a pretty smooth surface there. So drop that back in. It's left over. You can always reuse everything, all the lead. Got one poured. All right. I'll do another one for you here real fast. And these do have to be different lengths because, as you can see, this one's going to be higher up than this one is. And it's always better to make your wires too long than it is too short, because you can always cut more off, but you can't add any back on. Got that shut. Okay. No gaps. Line her up. Open the spigot. There we go. Wait a second. That out. Pliers. There we go. Done. Drop back in. So I showed you all the prices that these range online. So if you can find your lead for free, and basically you've got to buy the wire, a mold, and the melter. And if you use quite a few weights a year, it'll be well worth your time and money to just make your own.